Dear students, I am going to explain analysis of portal frames when used for through type truss railway bridges. This is a typical portal frame used for truss railway bridges. This consists of two columns. This is left column and right column, which is from the bottom to the top, acting as a column, and which is fixed at the bottom. The other members are truss members which carry on a axial load, and they are joined by hinges. So the hinge here affects only the member of the truss member or inclined member, while this column is through and does not have an effect of the hinge. So this type, while analyzing such type of structures, we have two main assumptions on basis of which we remove the or we make it an easier case or a simpler case. So first assumption is that there is a point of contraflexure on the mid of unsupported height of each column. So from here to here, this we can call it unsupported height, and on the mid of it there is a point of contraflexure where bending moment is 0 in this the left column and right column, both the columns. Second assumption is that both the column resist equal horizontal load. So let us say that when P is the horizontal load applied on the structure, so half of the force is being resisted by the left column, P by 2, and half of the horizontal force is being resisted by the right column, that is P by 2. So now these two assumptions make this analysis pretty easy. So now we are resolving the portal frame in simpler problem with the help of the earlier mentioned assumptions. So this is a case where we can break it from at this place at point O1 and O2, or both the point of contraflexures. At this point we know that the horizontal force at this point is P by 2, as the horizontal force at the bottom is P by 2. So therefore the horizontal force at this place will be P by 2, and therefore this will also be P by 2. Similarly, as we have earlier mentioned that this is point of contraflexure, so bending moment at these points will be 0, and only unknown force at this place is a vertical reaction, a vertical internal force. So that vertical internal force will be equal to vertical reaction, which will be here. So the next step will be to start solving this. Here we can see that we have divided this structure in two cases or two substructures. In the left one we have the upper part, and for the upper part we can see that only V1 and V2 are unknown, while internal forces are also unknown. So we will talk about that in next video. And here on the right side we can see that V1 and V2 are unknown, and the moment at the bottom is also unknown. The horizontal force on both the columns is known, and geometry is of course known. Then the bending moment at the top is known. So the bending moment at the bottom can be easily calculated using bending moment at the bottom will be simply this P by 2 into this height h by 2. So that will be ph by 4. Now solving upper part of the portal frame is taking moment about. So what we will do is we will take moment about any of the point of contraflexure. So let us say we are taking moment about O1, which is the point of contraflexure in the left column. So we are considering clockwise moment as positive. So we can see that at this point, as V1 is passing through O1, so V1 will not produce any moment about O1, so V1 into 0, here 0 is perpendicular distance of V1 from O1. Next is as Py2 is also passing through O1, so Py2 multiplied by 0. Next force is P, this horizontal force, so that is at a distance of h by 2 plus h, so P into h by 2 plus h, which is this will produce clockwise movement. Next is next are these two forces, so V2 multiplied by L, which is which will produce anti-clockwise movement, so my negative minus V2 into L, and Py2, this horizontal force passes through O1, so Py2 into 0. Solving this equation, we will get the value of V2 in terms of P and capital H, small h, and capital L. So we now this way we have known the value of vertical internal force of point of contact flexure O2, and that will be also vertical reaction at the right column support, right column support. So now in the whole section or whole the structure, if we are going to balance all the vertical forces, so we can see there are only two vertical forces, V1 and V2, so V1 plus V2 must be 0. In this way we can find out V1 is negative of V2, and here we can see by this point we have find out all the external forces in this substructure. Now for the further analysis we will have to use method of joints or method of section for this truss member. These truss members, up to now we have seen how to find out all the external forces in these two substructures. I am calling these internal forces also as external forces for the substructure purpose. Thank you.